Hey, what's up everybody? I'm OLIE'S. This is Equine Photo School, and today we're going to talk about booths. We're going to do a whole booth series, so this is just the very first video. This is the start of it. This is like our introductory, kind of an overview of the booth, the system, how it works. We're here in the loft here at Equine Photo School, but this is the same thing that we did at OLIE'S Images all over the country. It would always look a little bit different based on where we're going, and throughout this series I'm going to show you some like pictures of the past events. So we got booths set up in all kinds of different environments, all kinds of different layouts. I'm going to show you examples of things from the many years of OLIE'S Images. But first I want to walk you through kind of the system and how it looks. So let's dive right into each piece real quick as an overview. We don't have a sponsor for this video, but we do have a course, and that course is Lighting 101 to 301. We actually have several courses, but that's the most popular one. It has 114 video lectures and over 90 opportunities for you to reach out, ask for feedback, ask for help, ask questions. This course starts out with the fundamentals, so you can build a strong foundation for you to build upon. Even if you know nothing about lighting, you know nothing about strobes and flashes and how all this stuff works, that's why you're taking this course. That's why I built this course for you. So we start at the ground level, we build a foundation using the fundamentals of light and how it works. Then I've got a gear guide for you. Before we start using this gear, we got to learn about the gear. So we talk about the different gear, the different types of flashes there are. We compare those flashes. I've got a bunch of different gear. I talk it over with you over all of the different pieces of gear that I use. Then we start using that gear. We start lighting portraits. We do people portraits, we do horse portraits, we do black background photography. We're gonna get into that. There's cool stuff. So we can start with 1 light, 2 light, and 3 light portraits and just build from there. Then in 301, that's what most people are really excited about, and that's what I'm most known for myself, is arena lighting. In 301, we dive into arena lighting. I have real world examples of arena lighting that I've done all over the country. I've got a lot of examples for you. I show you some lighting diagrams overhead. We talk about it, we show videos. We've got all kinds of stuff to help you dial in that arena lighting. So whether you're shooting rodeos or you're shooting specific events, we've got several different lectures on all of those different topics. We cover that in 301. Look for this course and all the other courses that we have at equinephotoschool.com/courses. Okay, we're gonna do an overview of like how to set this up, picking locations, all that stuff in other videos. Today is like we've got a booth and here's the overview of how it works, okay? So first thing, you're gonna have a customer come here. This is a 50-inch 4K TV. I'd always recommend getting 4K or better. 1080p looks terrible. Your photos are much higher resolution than 4K, and trying to condense them down to a 1080p is just going to look miserable. So get at least 4K, that way they at least look sharp. You're going to have a customer sit here. So we'd pop a chair here, we'd pop another chair here for your employee to show the pictures to the customer, and then over here, that chair with that iMac, that's going to be for your booth manager. So we got 2 people working in this booth. One person can handle it if it's a very small event, but let's just go through the motions in the system. So customer's gonna come down, they're gonna sit here, they're gonna see their pictures on this 50-inch TV. They're going to have a size chart in front of them to pick out what size they want so they can physically see how big that print is gonna be. We have a menu of other options that we have. We have an order book to take their orders. We have a note card here to kind of take a note if they're going to come back. They're going to rope again, they're going to compete again, whatever it is, and they're going to come back and they want to add to their order. We start them out on the note cards before we transition them to an order form. So when we finally fill out like this sales order book, this is when it's a real order. Otherwise, we're just using these note cards, and then we have a note card box. It's not shown here. I got rid of it, but basically we have these note cards with their name on it, and we write their photo numbers down that they like, and that way we aren't using these kind of slightly more expensive order forms just for, like, we call this a wish list. So they'll make a wish list and then they'll order. We have some business cards there. we have this mouse and keyboard, and you'll see there's not a laptop here. So we used to use laptops back in the day. I can show you some pictures of old booth setups with laptops, and you'll see we used to do that. We tried that. It didn't work as well as using this Mac Mini. This Mac Mini slides right in here under the table. We have a hard drive connected to it because it doesn't have a ton of storage on it, but it's discreet. It slides in. It gives you more space on your table, so that laptop is taking up a ton of space. And what's more important is having a laptop screen here distracts your customer. So your employee is on this little tiny laptop, and then it sends it to this big screen over here using a HDMI cable, and that distracts. So your customer will spend maybe 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 30 seconds looking at this tiny little screen waiting for something to happen, and then we'll have to say, your pictures are on this big giant screen right here. So there's that, just everything that we can do. We're talking about little things, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, saving that on every customer, saves it hundreds of times a day, right? Saves it thousands of times a weekend or whatever. So that adds up, all that time adds up. So if we can eliminate that, so we just have the one big screen and they're looking at it, they know what's going on. You know, you're gonna have your files up here, you're gonna be able to show pictures. On a Mac, it's super easy. You just hit spacebar on the picture that it's showing and it blow it up into preview as a big screen. It's really, really nice, and you can just arrow key up and down through it. So all your booth crew needs to know is how to find their pictures. We're gonna get into that. And then how to hit spacebar and then up, down arrow. Super, super simple, easy. I'll show you guys that on the computer. I've made other videos about how that works, but we'll show you that as like a screen sharing thing, so you don't have to have a video of the TV, because that, you know, there's a lot of reflections in here. All of the photos and the photo numbers go on to here. So this is like the day sheets here, or the manual timer sheet. There's a lot of things you can call this, but basically this is the draw, and it has their order, it has their name. I've made videos on this, so go check out the videos on how we make this as the photographer out in the arena. And then this comes into the booth. We 3-hole punch it. We always have a 3-hole punch in the booth there, so we can make this. And if we have a bigger booth, we'll have a printer that can print these little sheets out, and we'll make copies, and then we'll have a 3-ring binder for each viewing station. So we call this whole package here a viewing station. This bank bag will be full of cash, so we'll have that we can make change when people pay for their pictures with cash. And then after this order form gets filled out, this customer can go about their day. We'll tell them come back at 2:30, come back at 5 o'clock, whenever. We'll ask our booth manager how long it's going to be until a print is ready. They'll say we're like 30 minutes out, so add 30 minutes to the time. Don't just tell them come back in 30 minutes. Look at your watch, look at your clock on your phone, whatever, add 30 minutes or whatever, and then tell them to come back at least after that time. Or we like to text people their pictures, so say, as soon as you get that text that your other picture is done, your print is done at the same time, because we'll do them at the same time. So that order will come over here to our print station, and we will be working on that where the booth manager is, that is editing and printing photos. We'll do that next. Now that the order has been completed with the customer and they are on their way, it comes over here to the print station. So we've got an iMac sitting here, 27-inch iMac, hooked up to a couple of hard drives and a card reader. And this is really simple. So we go through, I've already done videos on how to print in Lightroom. So we go through that printing process in Lightroom. That comes over here. They would select a size of paper, and here's a bundle of ink here. Now let me tell you about this ink really quickly. We've got all of these different colors. This printer, this is the Canon Pro 100. It's now obsolete. Now the Pro 200 is out. But you would take one of these, and each of these is representative of the color that's in it. So this is yellow when you pull out a yellow. So we do this because it's faster and easier than trying to read the tiny little print on there. We can tell if it's light gray, if it's gray, if it's cayenne, whatever it is. We can grab that bag and just go fast, because speed is the name of the game here. Okay, so we grab a sheet of paper, put it in the printer to fulfill the order. So if we're doing 8x10s, 5x7s, whatever it is. Here we just have one printer shown, but most of the time I have 2 printers set up, sometimes 3 printers set up, depending on the size of the event. So this booth right here is like a really, really small event. If you just have 1 person running it, 1 person could probably handle this at a very small event, like I said. But we'd come out here, the print would come out, we would grab an appropriate clear bag. So your print will go in this clear bag. As you can see, this kind of glistens in the light. It catches all of the lights. And this is really, really nice because it's transparent. You can put a print in there. You can put 2 back to back so they don't have to take it out. They don't have to show somebody. They can be walking through the arena on their way back to their trailer, and people are seeing that because the light catches it. Your eye's drawn to it. People go, oh, there's a photographer here, and they're printing on site. I don't have to trust them that with my money that they're going to eventually send me a print someday. I can get it right now and take it home with me today. That is mind-blowing. People love that. This creates what I call a snowball effect. Your first couple of orders are going to be hard. They're going to be slow to come in. But once you get these going out and they're showing all their friends and they're showing random people, they're like, what is that? Where did you get that? Or people are just seeing it and recognizing that there's a print in here from today. You're going to get just like hordes of people. It's going to be like the zombie apocalypse. They're all coming at you. They're doing their zombie walk, right? And they're going to come find your booth. They're going to sit there. They're going to take an order. You're going to print it out, or your booth crew is going to print it out, and it's going to go in here. Then we always put a business card and a sticker in there. You can give fun little things. These Heal for the Glory stickers were super popular back in the day. So we'd pop one of those in there with our print, and then we can seal that up. And so that comes right out of here, and then it'll go in this file and based on their name. So we just have some hanging files here in this box. We have different ways. There's definitely a more compact way to do this. This is our bigger events, we'd have a bigger one. Our smaller events, we'd have just like an expandable file. But basically, it goes here, print, out, there we go, into the box, and then this is alphabetized in alphabetical order. So when that customer comes back, says, hey, my name is John Ford, and you just go in here and you go to Ford, whatever, and you find their print right in there, and then boom, you're ready to go. You can hand it to them. Super slick, super easy. That's kind of like the system, the overview, right? So it's always like we start here at taking an order. That order goes to here, it goes through the printer, or we just text it straight to them. Simple. If you're using Macs are great because if you have an iPhone and you have an iMac, you can use iMessage and just send people a text straight from your computer. Super easy. In Windows, there are ways to get that done too, but you just have to figure that out because I'm not a Windows guy. This works so slick, so easy that I love it. Anything else would just be more difficult, and I like it easy. So this is the simplest, slickest booth setup. This is very minimal. Usually we'd have 3 or 4 or 5 of these booth stations, these viewing stations, and to 1 printing station. So with 2 to 3 printers usually. So we just expand or contract the size of this booth based on how big the event is, how busy we anticipate our traffic being, and that sort of thing. So if it's a bigger event, you just add more viewing stations, right? Sometimes the event is so big that you need several booths. I bet if you're watching this and you're trying to figure out how to run a booth, you're not quite there yet. So just know that this is kind of the bare bones, kind of bare minimum. You can get away with doing this all on one table if it's really tiny event. But you gotta have a booth, man. It is gonna make you so much more money. Even at those small ones, I always have a booth set up. I always have at least 1 person hired, bare minimum, okay? Do not try to do this by yourself. It is gonna be a total disaster, a total wreck. If you're trying to run from the arena back to your booth, or you're trying to have the booth right outside of the fence so you can help customers in between runs, that is just asking for just an anxiety attack, right? Like that, just like, oh man, I couldn't imagine. We have so much traffic in the booth and so many people need help, and they just love that you just go and do it for them, and then you hand them a print. And trying to do this on just by yourself is just a no-go. So hire somebody. It's gonna be worth it. If you pay somebody 15, 20 bucks an hour, say they work a 10-hour day, or that's $150 to $200 for a day, you are gonna make $1,000 or $2,000 off of them, right? So you can afford it, But here's the deal. people get this backwards. They say that they can't afford to have a booth crew yet because their sales aren't there. But your sales aren't there because you haven't hired a booth crew yet. So you've got it backwards. You pay these people after the weekend is done, right? So let them make you a bunch of money and then take the little bit of money, you know, out of what they've made you. A lot of people pay in cash, which is great because you can pay your employees in cash. Like, boom, they can get paid right then and there before they leave. Everybody's happy, right? Like, they have done their work and then they get paid, just like every other job on the planet, right? Almost every other job on the planet. So, you know, you go to McDonald's, you get a job at McDonald's, they make you work in a 40-hour work week or sometimes 2 40-hour work weeks. You know, at some jobs, you get every other week you get paid. So at this, they wait 3 days. They work for 2 3 days. You know, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is. They work 2 or 3 days and they get paid. Like, it's fine. So pay people at the end, not at the beginning, and then you don't have any stress because you've made all that money all weekend and then they get paid. Okay, so that's the introduction to having a booth. So you've kind of got the flow, and now in the upcoming videos, so keep on watching the next videos, they are going to talk about how we use, how we hook up, how we do things, the nitty gritty. We're going to deep dive into some details, okay? A lot of people go over the overview and that's it, but we are going to deep dive because just having a booth isn't enough. You got to do the right things the right way, and we've experimented a ton at OLIE'S Images, and we have a great system that I believe that you can implement too and really take your sales to the next level. Okay, we're trying to minimize our workload and maximize our profit. So at the end of the weekend, you should have little to nothing to do from that event, right? So there should be very little that you have to do on Monday to like wrap up or recap or upload or do anything. Your booth crew should be able to handle like 98% of the things that you need to do, okay? So watch the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.